Hi everyone, my name is Susie Q and I am the owner and maker of Glitter with Susie Q. If you like the content that you're seeing, please like, subscribe, and share. You can also connect with me by Facebook, Instagram, and email. Today we're going to be making this tumbler that has donut American flags on it and then glitter on the top and on the bottom. Go ahead and do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, and we will jump into this tutorial right now. If you'll do me a favor before we get started with the video, will you go ahead and will you like this video to help it reach other people so that they can see the awesome things we're doing over here. So I have this American flag donut vinyl. I got this vinyl from the Glitter Chimp and they are no longer in business, so I'm not going to link it in the description below. But what I am doing is I'm taking this vinyl and pick any patriotic vinyl that you want to, and you are just going to cut about 3 to 3.5 inch, depending on how big you want your vinyl section to be. You are going to cut a chunk of your vinyl off. I did 3 inches, so do your 3 inches, and then you are going to put the rest of the vinyl to the side and you are going to grab your tumbler. Now in this part, you are going to take your tumbler and you are going to just simply wrap your tumbler with this vinyl. I spray painted my tumbler white before this point, so I have spray painted the cup and I have then let it dry, and now I'm working on putting on the vinyl. So I'm gonna just take this vinyl and I'm gonna just do a wrap in the center of this cup. I'm not really measuring, I'm just kind of going by my eyeball of where I think the center is and where the best placement for this vinyl will be. So I got the vinyl where I want it to be, and now I'm going to use the hinge method in order to attach my vinyl to my cup. So I'm just going to take a little piece of the backing away, and I'm going to cut away an inch, half-inch amount of backing. Once I do that, I am then going to be able to adhere that small piece of vinyl to my cup, and it is going to act as the hinge part in the hinge method to apply this. So I'm going to get it as straight as I can, and here I guess I am doing a little bit of measuring. I just want to make sure that I'm not completely off on where the center of my cup is. So I'm measuring, it looks like I want 2 inches on the top and 2 inches on the bottom. So I guess I did measure. I did want it to be more accurate. And then I am just gonna place the exposed vinyl down to the cup. I will then make sure that my vinyl lines up how I want it to on my tumbler. This is a clear backed vinyl piece, and so you'll be able to see the white through the vinyl. And as you can see, it's a little bit crooked, so I'm doing my readjustments. I'm making sure that everything looks nice and everything looks right. So you'll see me then press the rest of the vinyl down and into the circle, around the full circle of the cup. If I had one regret of this cup is I kind of wish that I had done a base layer of white glitter, just to kind of, so that there was a little bit of shimmer underneath this vinyl. that would probably be my one regret of this cup, is that there's kind of in the center of this cup a patch that is just white. It's fine, it looks great, but I think I would want a little bit more sparkle if I'm ever going to do this again. So I am now just very slowly spreading this vinyl across the entirety of the cup, and you can see where it lines up. Because it is a clear backed vinyl, you can see through it. So you definitely have to cut it off as close to the seam as possible. Now, I will tell you, I am terrible about cutting a straight line. I cut this line and I thought that I was butted right up against that other piece of vinyl, but I wasn't. And so there is a tiny little gap between my two pieces of vinyl. It's a little bit frustrating, a little infuriating, but somehow I didn't cut exactly where I wanted to. And so there's a small little gap that you can see, but it's okay. It's a 4th of July cup. It's a, patriotic tumbler that I'll use once or twice a year, and it'll be okay. But just make sure that you are really precise on where you are cutting, and make sure that you are getting far enough over so that you don't have a gap between your vinyl. So my next step is I'm going to be adding this Glitter Chimp glitter called Firecracker to my tumbler. I am going to put it at the top and the bottom, and I'm going to be using the epoxy method. So I went ahead and I put a tumbler arm into my cup, and I am going to put a sheet of paper down to catch all of my glitter, and I've already got my epoxy mixed up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take the epoxy and I'm going to spread it all over my cup. I want a nice thin layer of epoxy all over my cup. This will help protect my vinyl as well. So I'm going to just spread the epoxy, a very thin layer. You don't need a thick layer. It is a chunkier glitter, or I am using a chunkier glitter. So I did put, a good amount on, but so that the chunkier pieces can stick. But you don't need to absolutely coat and saturate your tumbler for this. Just put on a thin layer, and then you are going to add your glitter anywhere that you want the glitter to go. So I want the glitter to go just a smidge on either side of the vinyl, so you can't see the line and the line of vinyl, and so that's where I'm going to keep my my glitter. You can see that I am just making sure that I'm getting all parts of the cup. I want to make sure that I get the bottom real well. I want to make sure that I get that top rim real well, because sometimes I miss that top rim, and then I have to go in and do some fix-it work in order to make sure that the glitter is all the way up at the top of the cup. So I've been seeing people use this method of where after you get your epoxy on the tumbler, you go ahead and you pat the epoxy down, and people say that it makes it so that your glitter looks less streaky if you're going to add glitter immediately. So I went ahead and I tried it this time. My glitter doesn't look streaky. I don't know if it did anything or not, but you'll see me here in just a minute kind of patting down the entire cup so that I guess to create so that there aren't streaks of epoxy. So I pat it down. I don't really notice a difference, but if this is your style and you like it, go ahead and do it. So here I am patting it down. After I'm done patting it down, I then add my my glitter to the cup. Now, full disclosure, I did not do something that I tell everybody to do in every single one of my videos. I always tell people to use the Crystal-Lac glitter glue and seal your glitter. Even though I wasn't really worried about the transfer of glitter, because it doesn't matter if one or two or a couple of flakes go onto the vinyl, it looks fine. What I should have done was I should have sealed in my glitter, because this tumbler took way more coats of epoxy than what it should have. I think my final coats of epoxy, I ended up having to do 4 coats, all because I made the decision to rush myself, and instead of taking the 2 hours to seal my glitter, I rushed into putting my coat of epoxy on there, and it took so much more epoxy than what it should have. So that's why I'm always saying to seal your glitter, because it truly does take less epoxy. I get better results. My cups turn out smoother if I seal my glitter. Again, for this cup, I chose not to do that, and I regret that, because it took so much more epoxy and so many more coats and effort than what really was necessary for it. Doing it over again, I have got to remember to seal my glitter even when I'm not worried about it transferring onto the vinyl. So, word to the wise, use your Crystal-Lac glitter glue and seal your glitter so that you can use less epoxy, because I definitely didn't follow my own advice on this one, and I regretted that decision at layer 4 of epoxy. And like I said, this took quite a bit of epoxy, so I put it on my turner and I did 4 coats of epoxy. Go ahead and comment below if you've ever had this problem before, where you knew you should have sealed your glitter, you made the choice not to, and then you immediately regretted all of your life choices that led you up to this moment. And here's the final cup. I know it took me more epoxy than what I wanted to, but it still turned out really, really cute. If you don't mind, will you please share this content with other people? I would really like my channel to grow, and sharing is a really great way of a channel being able to grow. You can connect with me on social media with Facebook and Instagram, and you can also send me an email. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. But now it's time for you to watch the video that's suggested for you on the screen. Have a great day. Bye.